from, not childhood, but from secondary school, what did you want to become?
The only thing I thought of before, because I used to like using screwdrivers, was to be an engineer.
Okay.
However, I also wanted to be an artist because I used to draw a lot and I could draw very well. Yes, and I think the art is still with me because the entire design and deco of ALSALE services, I did it myself.
Oh, that's nice. And how far are you willing to go with the art?
Well, for now, my concentration is on ALSALE services.
Okay.
But what I had decided to do one day when I have some time is to take pictures of and compile data on mentally challenged people on our streets, and then try to find where they came from, and then do an exhibition of these people so that we see the humanity in them, and then use it to raise funds for the psychiatric hospital. That is the impact of the art I want to do.
There's some charity in what you're saying.
Yes, of course.
You're a charitable person, are you?
I don't know about that. Maybe somebody can tell me. But I do my best to assist when the need be.
Okay.
By the grace of God, yes.
Okay, so let's fast forward and come to now. What is ALSALE your vision? Is it the entire vision? Is it a partial vision? There is more to come.
Actually, my vision actually is supposed to affect society in a very good way. And if ALSALE is the way to affect society in a positive way, then that's it. And ALSALE actually is not supposed to be limited to Ghana. We intend to have ALSALE across the west coast of Africa to start with, because that is embedded in our vision as a company.
Okay, so this is part of the bigger plan.
Mm-hmm.
Have you given yourself time to work it out, or all things will work out in good time?
No, everything has to be properly planned. For instance, when we started ALSALE somewhere around officially 2004, so that would be about 14 or 15 years now. The vision was to have our own premises when we were 10 years old.
Okay.
And exactly when we were 10 years old, we built this 4-story office building.
Mission accomplished.
Yes, so everything is planned, and then we also believe that at that time we would have had the structures to be able to get the recognition of society and the business community who to know that we are serious and be ready to do serious business with us. And then that will give us the what it takes to be able to move up, be very formidable in Ghana itself, and then move across the west coast of Africa. So we believe that very soon we will be 15 years, and then we intend to at least set up an office in Nigeria and Liberia before we are 15 years.
Okay, so
yes.
As you work towards being 15 and achieving one of the milestones you have set for yourself, because I don't believe that's the end of ALSALE. It's supposed to go beyond it, but that is just a vision you have for the 15th year. You have become a credible business in Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
How easy or difficult was the journey to this point?
I don't use words like difficult, because I believe that if you want to brave the storm, there are always challenges. Okay. So if you look at the values of ALSALE services, which was carved purely as a result of the way we work here, is focus, integrity, and perseverance. Okay. And you can see that focus and perseverance are directly related. If you focus on something, you have challenges, you have to persevere. And you have to do that with integrity. So things are not smooth, but we manage. If you're an entrepreneur, a manager, you're supposed to make things that are not smooth better, and then grow the company, take care of the human resource, and affect society in a positive way as you do that. So it's not been so easy, but it's been rewarding and it's been very fulfilling.
How rewarding and how fulfilling?
For instance, at all sales services, we have staff of about 50. Okay, these are people. Some have been working here.
50.
Yes, 50. Some have been working here for the past 13 years of their lives. Some 8 years. The minimum is around 4 or 5 years. So you can see that our labor turnover rate is quite low over here. And I've seen people who came right from school, national service, who have grown. I've seen them grow. I've seen them do things for themselves. I've seen them got married, have children, and taking care of their children. And it's all because of what ALSALE does. And I have people here who are as young as 55, 58 and stuff like that, and they are fulfilled being with ALSALE services, and they enjoy doing what they do. So when I look at all these people, thinking about where this company started, a young boy with a money counting machine in his armpit, working in Accra trying to sell it, and we brought it to this level, and people have their dreams and aspirations and vision fused to that little dream that was started about 14, 15 years ago. It's very, very fulfilling.
For you,
Yeah.
it's quite a burden, not negative way, but you feel the impact of how many people are looking up to you and what you have to do to them to bring them up, because you're growing them, as you were saying, about 50 of them. What are the cardinal values you imbibe in them?
Yes, the feeling of patriotism is a key thing in all sales services, because I always tell the staff that over here, it is not, the moment you enter this compound, the normal attitude we know in our society is something you have totally discard. We have our values, we have our corporate culture, and you have to live by it. And I'm happy to say that most of the staff are very stuck to it, because for instance, I was out of the country for a little over a month, and I was amazed at how the company was run. I came and everything was just on point. So it gave me an impression that they are listening to what we say, and then they see example in the leadership. So patriotism is very critical, and then diligent work and diligent attitude, and focus on humanity and delivery of solutions to the business community and the entire society. We believe that money is just a bonus and a byproduct of the delivery of the solution and the values that we give society.
Okay, so what kind of leadership style do you run? Because when you talk about being absent and still having the company running up to the point as if you are even here, then you must be doing something extraordinary that makes you stand out. Because for other companies, they don't get it that way. You work when the leader is around, you relax when he's not.
Let me tell you something. I have people, who come here sometimes as late as about 10 p.m. and they see some of my staff seated doing their work. And they ask me if I'm keeping them here. And I said no. They know they have something to complete, so they are sitting down to get it done. And they are not being forced to do that. Of course, there is an overtime allowance that people get, but they enjoy doing what they do, and they want to just do their job. So, to answer your question directly, we have structures being built at ALSALE services. The company has come from sole proprietorship with just an individual, myself, to employment of a second person, a third person, and then we had to develop departments. Currently, we have about 4 or 5 departments. We have the service business development department, we have the sales department, we have the accounts department, and we have operations and admin and HR all put together as one department. Now, all these have very responsible leadership, people who know what they're about, and they've been made to understand that entrepreneurship creates value for individuals. So if the department that you are heading, if you're able to be creative about it, you can make your value for yourself in terms of all the commissions and bonuses. So people work sort of for themselves at ALSALE services, because you've been given the environment, you've been given the resources, human, material, and logistics, and you are supposed to use it to create value. And when you create value, you know the percentage of that value that comes to you. So that is how come you can see them at 10 they're seated and working. Okay, and then we have structures. We have our board, we have our management, led by the managing director, myself. Then we have these leaders, the team leaders and managers, who have their own span of control, the staff they work with. So everybody knows what their responsibilities are, and everybody knows what they are supposed to do. So and this was not achieved easily, because at a point in time, for 6 years continuously, every single morning I met every staff at 8 a.m.
Okay.
Every day, unfailing. We call it the review meeting. Everybody has to be there. Check everybody's work, check everybody's structures. Now the review meeting has been departmentalized. So every morning, each department head have a review meeting.
Because you're growing.
Exactly. Then they intend have a meeting with me later, so that I see what's happening in the department. Then I go down, as you see, when you came, I was at the showroom.
Yes.
Actually, I was helping to organize the arrangement of the stocks, because we just received some containers.
Okay.
So I go down to check what is going on, and then tune it to suit the vision of the company, and also lead them to understand how we want things done.
So you are involved in the day-to-day run?
Of course. What makes business successful, in my opinion, is involvement.
Okay.
You can never be successful in business if you are not involved in it, because you are the one who carries the vision, and you are trying to make everybody understand the vision. And the vision cannot be impacted or imbibed or inculcated in people just by you talking to them. You have to demonstrate the vision.
Okay.
When you demonstrate the vision, then it has a telling effect on them. Then they are able to understand what you are saying verbally and what is written. Then they demonstrate it in their own selves, so that they do the right thing. So as a leader, you cannot sit at the office. No, wrong, in my opinion. You have to be with them. Then you take backstage to check. Like I said, I was out of the country for a month.
Yes.
And I realized that everything we've been doing over the years is falling in place. And I'm beginning to see how the succession plan looks like.
I was coming to the succession plan because it's been you at the helm of affairs for some time, though you have decentralized, kind of handed over some of the power to others to run departments and others. What is your succession plan? Are you working towards that? I'm told most Ghanaian companies don't do that. So the visionary goes with the vision. That's what happens. But what's your plan?
Well, the plan is to get people who are able to understand the vision, and actually it has to be people who have beat as mine.
Okay.
Yes, they have the same heartbeat as mine, and it takes a while to get that. However, the succession plan goes beyond somebody probably succeeding me.
Yes.
Or me, some kind of protege or somebody I'm mentoring. No, it has to be succession plan at each department. So what we do is that over here we do what do we call it, job rotation a lot.
Okay.
Then we also do situation where every work somebody else knows how to do it.
You are not indisposable.
The company does not run around one
In the
individual.
absence of the person, then there is
Anybody can go on leave for a month and we will work.
Okay. That's
Currently,
cool.
as it is, anybody, absolutely, including myself, because when I go on leave, the account manager takes over in addition to the sales manager. They take over and they run things. Okay, including myself. So every single person's job can be done by somebody else, and it's a conscious effort. We do a rotation. We make people do what other people do. We teach them. Some people even do some kind of on-the-job training and mentoring.
Oh.
Yes. So even currently there is somebody from technical department who is working with the service business department right now, trying to
extremes.
Yes, trying to understand what goes on there. So that is the kind of succession plan that we do right now. But for the actual leadership of the company, like I said, it has to be somebody whose heart beats exactly as mine.
From the way you are saying, it looks like you've not found the person yet, or you still looking?
People are getting closer. People are getting closer.
I can see the marking scheme is very high.
Yeah,
so
but I can see people are getting closer.
There will be someone, I am sure.
People are getting closer. I have about 2 people who I believe are getting very, very close. They are understanding what we are doing. And you see, for me, it's the little things. Okay. Is that person who sees the windows open and cannot go home until the windows are closed. Is that person who realizes that the lights are on and he feels like we are losing something, the company will lose something. It's the little. As for work, many people know how to do the work, but what actually sustains the company are the little things. Okay, the little thing, the thing that shows deep. The moment you see such action, you realize that the company is deeply seated in the heart of the person. You see that? It's the little things. So what I actually look out for may not be a proper demonstration of actual work efficiency. No. It's the little thing that shows that if you are to be handling the company, you ensure that the environment is as clean as I want it. The customers, you have that passion in your heart that when a customer complains, you can't sleep. It's not like you listen to a customer and you're like, oh, okay, we'll call you later. No, that burning desire to satisfy, those are the little things I'm looking out for. And that's what I'm saying. It's the same, somebody who has beats at mine. They see the flowers having a problem and you want to ensure that you water, stuff like that. That total taking care of the company. That's what can make a company run.
Holistic care. I get that one. But how far or wide are you in Ghana? Is this the only office? Are you expanding to other regions?
Yes, we actually all over the country. Okay. But our actual offices, we have here being the head office, we have Kolebu, we have Achimota, and we have Kumasi. Okay. However, the nature of our business is such that we have equipment all over the country, from Accra to Paga to Lubu. We have machines all over that we service every month. So our staff are all over. We sell across the country, but our business is such that we don't necessarily have to have physical space everywhere, but we have to be available to respond to customers everywhere.
So wherever you have your machine, you have someone there, or someone goes there from time to time?
From time to time, someone goes there. If not every month, someone goes there.
And that is just a culture you have grown, or at their request?
That is the nature of the business. We are selling and servicing equipment and leasing equipment. Okay. So equipments will have to be taken care of. So we have, in fact, the largest department we have is the Service Business Development Department. And that department alone is an innovation. Okay. Because that department, though it's a technical department, is headed by somebody with a marketing background. Because the idea is to sell service as a product. So that department has over 22 staff. Okay. And they are on the field ensuring that all the machines are working. And they are very well trained, both locally and abroad. Okay. Very well trained to be able to ensure that customers have the best from ALSALE services. So
you have a background in procurement?
Yes,
also?
Yes.
So tell me about that.
Actually, after my A-levels, my year was the year that universities went on strike for about 2 years. So I was admitted at University of Ghana to read archaeology, history, and religion. I was supposed to be at the Saba Hall, but I was waiting for too long. So the first thing I did was to try to enlist in the army. And I have my letter here. I'll show it to you later. So funny enough, I was supposed to be second lieutenant, Ahmed Adadeboachi. So 4 of us went, 3 of my friends, myself, 3 of them were taken. I was the only one who wasn't taken. That was one of the worst days of my life. I was so sad because I wanted to be a military person. So on that day, I left Burma camp around around 9, and my sister asked me to stay in Accra. I said, no, I'll go to Kumasi because I won't sleep in Accra. I was so sad.
Disappointed.
So I sat on the bus and got to Kumasi. Then when I came, I still had to wait for the university. Then I said, okay, I'll go to the Polytechnic instead. So I chose to do HND, Purchasing and Supply. I looked at all the courses of the Polytechnic. I thought the procurement was an interesting one. At that time, it was now, I think we're the 3rd batch, okay, of that particular course. I'm not too sure. So I chose to do HND, Purchasing and Supply. So I did procurement. Then after 3 years at the Polytechnic and my national service at Salaga in the north, I also contacted the Chartered Institute of Purchasing and Supply in the UK, and I was given the foundation graduate diploma in Purchasing and Supply. So, but I couldn't get a job in Purchasing and Supply procurement. I got a job in marketing. So that's where the marketing part started.
Okay.
Yes, I got a job to sell filters and mining equipments and pumps to these mining companies. And then after 3 years of work, I started ALSALE Services. And then ALSALE Services started with something around 500 Ghana cedis in capital. So it was just me. I used to carry machines around, shop to shop. Then it developed into having a car.
Which year was this?
I'm
calculating 14 years.
Yes, it's between 2003, 2004.
Okay.
That's why I said that ALSALE started officially in 2004.
Okay.
But there was an unofficial kind of...
We're doing groundwork.
Yeah, 2003, 2004. Okay. So officially started. So I did some work. Then, like, you know, my... some of the very first imports I made on money counting machine, I borrowed money from my siblings. Okay. Yes, and I paid back. Yes, I paid back even with more. Okay. And that is one thing I would like to advise people. When somebody gives you money, you pay back. It gives you credibility. And that credibility makes them want to do more with you.
It doesn't matter whether the person is family or...
Yes. Tell you what, when I was so credible, when my mother went on pension, she gave me her pension pay. She gave me that time 100 million. Okay. Yes, part of it to add, and I turned it over for some time and I paid her back.
Her capital?
Yes.
I see.
Because they knew that when I take money, I'll pay back. So I paid her back. Okay, so integrity. That's why I say that our values, the integrity part is part of that. It's not something we just took. Then we stayed focused on our money counting machine business for a pretty long time. And then God has been very, very good to us because at the time we started, there were a lot of big boys, let me say, on the market. But currently, arguably, ALSALE is the #1 when it comes to cash processing equipment in Ghana right now, in terms of visibility of products, in terms of its structures, physical structures, in terms of human resource, in terms of logistics, in terms of efficiency. All those in the industry agree that we are the best. So after Accra Poly, then I worked, started ALSALE Services. Then whilst I was somewhere in 2003, University of Cape Coast decided to do sandwich. So I went to do degree in marketing, BSc marketing at University of Cape Coast.
Because you have tried marketing.
Yes. No, I needed to be efficient in it. So I went to do degree in it. Then I did an MBA in it as well, in marketing. And I very much enjoy the idea of branding and marketing communication. And I say the MBA also truly helped the growth of the company. It gave me a very big picture.
So how are you using that procurement background now?
Very good. Everything I do, containerization, sourcing, the procurement principles of checking the 5 rights, the right product, the right price, the right everything. I'm using it right now because I'm actually procuring goods, okay, from outside manufacturing, and even doing assembly of some of it right now here myself.
Okay.
Oh yes, we do some of these things. Some of our things are locally made. So we the procurement, I still buy goods and then I see to the distribution of same. Again, we have warehouse. We have warehouses, and in our warehouse, stocks management, warehousing, and everything that procurement people do, or most of the things that procurement people do, apply here. So one thing I would say, if I should answer your question directly, is that procurement, having a background in procurement has really helped me. One of the major weapons I have against my competitors is my background in procurement. You see, when I'm going to sell to any procurement person, I understand the psyche of that procurement person, and I know the expectation of that procurement person. And I also know what a marketing officer is supposed to tell or how to convince a procurement person. So with these two knowledge, I'm able to tailor my presentation in a way that will impress the procurement person because I understand the thinking of the procurement person. So that's one weapon that I have that I believe is helping to grow the company.
Because either than that, you would have employed a procurement person to do some of these procurement from abroad for you?
Of course, I mean, maybe not necessarily, but things like my stocks, warehousing, and all those things. Some of these things are done by myself. But as the company grows, we will need procurement people to still be around to ensure that they have close watch of the stocks.
Okay, so what is your, so I call it, perception of our procurement system? When I say I mean Ghana.
As in the national?
Is it working national? Is it working? Are we doing something wrong? Or there is room for improvement? We are average, doing something right?
As for room for improvement, there is a big room for improvement. I think that we have to be more professional. Fortunately, now, since our time to date, or with our seniors' times to date, there have been a lot of professionals in the system. There have been a lot of institutions offering professional procurement courses. And then the Chartered Institute is also doing a great job to do workshops and then also educate people in procurement. So institutions have to be more professional. And I'm happy to note, when I started selling, procurement by banks, for most of the banks, were being done by other accounts people or administration people. But recently, I've observed that most of the banks are actually setting up procurement departments that are headed by some of our seniors, some of our juniors, and some of our lecturers. So it indicates that there's been some kind of shift in that, but there have to be a lot more professionalism because actually procurement can lead to profitability. Efficient procurement can lead to profitability, and we can relate that to our national life. If all these procurement that are made is efficiently done, we realize that we get a lot more value for money than we have currently. So there's a lot more room for improvement.
So could it be that we are now recognizing the role of the procurement expert in the organization?
The recognition is coming gradually, but I need a lot more paradigm shift because the procurement expert makes a great value to a company in terms of cost reduction. A great value. So if the procurement institutions in the country and both the local government levels, ministerial levels, and even cabinet levels, procurement is seriously looked at, and procurement professionals are involved. Government consult procurement professionals in this area. I believe that it will give the company, the country, a lot more value for money.
Okay. Now, earlier you mentioned the local content in ALSALE. How big is the local content? How much of the work is done by, how much of the assembling or manufacturing is done locally?
It's about 20 to 25% of what we do. We manufacture some of our safes, the fireproof safes here locally. And then we also manufacture some of our furniture here locally. Then we assemble our cabinets and also assemble some of our models of money counting machines here locally.
Okay, is it going to grow?
We expect it to. We are watching the profitability, viability, time consumption, but our objective is to be able to grow it to about 50% and even more going forward. In fact, we are looking towards to a time that we'll be able to have an expansion of assembly of these cash processing equipments to be able to take it to the west coast of Africa.
Okay, that is the bigger plan that
Yes.
you're working towards.
Yes.
In the interim, you are actually having 20 to 25%.
Or 20-25%.
But is the market open to that?
Of course.
This is the market that thinks everything foreign is good, everything local.
Funny enough, with our safes, the fireproof safes, the market likes the local one than the foreign one. Because the local one is built tough and they know that it's very difficult to break through that one.
Okay.
So we have very positive, in fact, there are companies that if you present them between the locally made safe and then the foreign one, they always choose the locally made safe.
Aside the strength, could it be the packaging?
Packaging is critical for us. Like I told you, brand is, as you can see from my environment, our brand speaks for itself. Brand is very critical, and I see to this myself. So the delivery of the safe, when it comes to the design, the make, the color, I ensure that we get it right.
Do you customize?
Yes, we have our own brand.
Okay.
Our brand is, in fact, with ALSALE Services, the name of the company is ALSALE Services. We have our air conditioning brand called the All Cool, from the name ALSALE.
Okay.
We have our money counting machine brand called All Count, also from the name ALSALE. Then we have our paper brand called All Print,
Okay.
from the name also. Then we have Crane, which is the safes and cabinets. So we are brand owners of 4 brands.
Okay.
And all these brands, I'm so happy to note to you that they are doing very, very well on the market, especially the All Count brand. In fact, we have resellers of All Count.
Okay.
Companies like Compute Ghana, they resell All Count in big quantities. This company, Next Computers, they resell, and we have other resellers across the country who take the All Count brand, which is a Ghanaian brand, and then also resell.
Wow. Tell me about the name. ALSALE. Tell me about the name.
Great. ALSALE is actually something that's got to do with open-mindedness, not narrowing yourself to a particular thing, and being dynamic and having the idea that the future is uncertain and should be able to fit within the uncertainty of the future.
Okay.
Because, for instance, currently we do a lot of cash processing, which we are very okay with, but so many things can happen in the future, which can result in either technology driving us slowly out of business or not. So what happens? What do we do? So you have to be open-minded, you have to be thinking ahead, and you have to be looking at ways of delivering value to society and then affecting society in a positive way in other areas or related areas.
So that's the name.
ALSALE Services.
ALSALE Services, I get it. But how technology driven are you?
Good.
Because this is the era of technology.
Yes, we use technology on our daily life. Okay, for instance, social media is critical for us. Most of our service delivery, spare parts deliveries, we use a lot of social media. We use softwares in our operations, in our stocks management. We use for security and stuff like that. Then we also use the internet, like our websites, sales.
It's not a dull website.
Yes, not
very
at all.
active.
Yes, it's active. Yes, our website is active, and then we try to do the other social media platforms as well. Then in our product development itself, currently we have about the most modern and growing equipment that we have an equipment called the SB9. The SB9 is the smallest heavy-duty two-pocket money counting machine
Now I'm
in the world.
confused. Smallest
Yes.
yet heavy duty.
Yes, that is because all the motor, the drum, the rollers, everything in that SB9 is for a heavy-duty machine.
Okay.
However, aesthetically, it's been packaged in a very cute way, so it delivers excellent value in a beautiful way in a banking hall. And that machine is the best on the market. Anybody who has experienced the SB9 attests to that. So, and that equipment can do many things. It has about 7 counterfeit detection functions. It can count and print the serial numbers of counted notes. It has PC interface. It can be used by 2 tellers, at the same time. Concurrently, yes, at the same time. It has a lot of features and future adaptability, such that even if there is a change in the entire currency of this country, you'll be able to rerun the software to be able to match the new currency.
Okay.
So our company and our products are also technology driven, and even as we speak, we are also looking at possibility of doing, in fact, not possibility, we have samples that we are working on and developing software for with our manufacturers in Korea for handheld mobile devices, point of sales that we also want to bring onto the market. And things like other products like deposit machines. Deposit machine is basically a safe and a money counting machine put together, which has PC interface that it's like an ATM.
Yes,
just
you
deposit it and it will hit your account directly. Later, the bank can just come for it. It's far advanced, and samples will be on the market very soon.
I'm hoping it will work soon in Ghana, because I hate banking halls, especially when I have to do deposits. So I'll use the deposit machine instead. Let's wind it down. I can see a guitar here. You like music?
I love music.
Okay, what kind of music?
Actually, if you say what kind of music generally, because of music genre, I'll say high life is my best sound.
That's
however,
guitar.
Yeah. However, I like religious songs.
Okay.
Yes, I like religious songs, but if you say religious songs, it's not a particular genre.
Yes.
Yes, but the genre of music, whether it's religious, whether it's social, it has to be a high life. I believe high life is the best sound in the world, not jazz.
I didn't mention jazz.
Not jazz.
Some say jazz, you say high life.
Not even classical music.
Okay.
High life is the best sound in the world.
But that's your background. So you believe in it. Others may disagree, but what makes high life stand out for you?
Most people will disagree. High life is timeless. Okay? And it's alive. It is not just instrumental music. It's instrumental with voice. Okay? And stories told in high life are human stories. Okay? And it's real. Anybody can relate to it, even if you don't understand the music and it's explained to you, you realize that you relate to that story. And the instruments, the rhythm itself is timeless. I think it's the best sound.
When you try to recreate it on the computer, it doesn't come out like your guitar, I guess. For you.
Yeah, for computer, yes. You know that modernization is such that we cannot do away with some of these things. But I believe the musicians will have to try as much as possible to bring real life instruments in their recording so that you can get the sound of a real high life.
So do you make time to listen?
Make time. Of course, I do drive cars, so when I'm in my car and there's a sound playing in the car, I do listen to it. And when I do a scan of radio, and as the radio keeps on checking station, the moment it gets to high life, I just press it and it stops so that I can finish it up.
Okay. But you don't like talk, politics, all that?
I'm not a political person. and I don't involve myself in politics. There are three topics I avoid talking about.
Okay.
First is politics, second is religion, third is love.
Okay.
These are topics that those who are very much involved in, I think, in my opinion, sometimes they are in cloud nine and they don't see reason. So I avoid talking about these three topics: religion, politics, and love.
But you believe in all.
Yes, politics is part of life. Even politics is religion. In religion, politics is an organization. We study organizational politics in the graduate school and in the first degree. Politics, we are all politicians one way or the other. Okay, so it's something which is there, but I don't involve myself in talking about one thing or the other. Not that I'm not nationalistic. I'm a patriot. I'm a patriot. If Ghana needs people to be conscripted into the army to serve the country, I'm probably one of the first people who will show up. Okay, I'm a patriot. But I don't want to involve myself in some of these things, and I don't talk religion. I don't talk love. No.
The love is what I find difficult to understand, but
that is
because
one,
I don't see the correlation.
Trust me,
love,
these
they
are
on cloud nine.
Yes, people in politics are very passionate about it.
They can kill for
They
politics.
can do many things for it. I'm glad you use the word kill. The same way people can kill for religion, people can kill for love.
Okay, on that level, yes.
Yes, so these are things that when people are doing, they are not very rational. So you cannot really know when to discuss. Of course, with my friends, we can say one or two things, but at public level, it's not something I talk about at all. I avoid it.
The military dream is still there. When you mentioned it again, I realized it. Would you still consider at a senior level?
This time, I don't think I have time for it.
Okay.
I don't think I have time for it. But I believe that every single citizen is a soldier. And like countries like Korea, Israel, every person who goes to college becomes a soldier, because at any point in time, you can be called to serve the country. So anytime Ghana needs me, they can call for me and I'll be there.
I'm sure they need you in this way and you're serving this way. Thank you very much.
Thank you too.
42 minutes. Wow. Thank you.